She has appeared on every television show worth appearing on. The Today Show, Good Morning America, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Fox News Channel's Hannity, The Glenn Beck Show, and HBO's Real Time with Bill Moron. And now she's here to speak to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ann Coulter.
So, how was everybody's recovery summer?
Nobody.
I know. Believe it's recovery fall already. I just saw a sign for recovery back to school sales. And the recovery holidays will be here before you know it. Is it just me or are they coming sooner and sooner every year? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. I've been writing my next book this summer. I had a crack of dawn flight. I'm a little under the weather. But things could be worse. I could be First Lady. And apparently that is pure hell. There's been a slight change in schedule. Christine O'Donnell will not be here today. She's busy becoming the next senator from Delaware. Also won't be here, but I was lying about that. I just wanted to make sure no Democrats would show up. And no Democrat would go within 10 miles of that guy. During the campaign, President Obama presented him as a moderate, middle-of-the-road Democrat. Though, to be fair, in Kenya, he is a moderate. He was no drama Obama, just a young, attractive 14-year-old without a record he could be nailed on. And then he got into office and passed a $1 trillion stimulus bill, staged a government takeover of much of the banking industry, much of the auto industry, staged a takeover of 1/6 of the American economy with his health care bill. Since Obamacare has passed, there has continuously been a majority of Americans that favor its repeal. It's never fallen below 52%. The most recent polls shows that 60% want Obamacare repealed, and the remaining 40% say they support it, but only if it would require all Democrats to get their heads examined. Under Obamacare, you'll be required by law to carry health insurance, and if you don't, the government can fine you thousands of dollars, and if you don't pay the fine, they can put you in jail. I think this is what they call the public option. Obama says if only health insurance is mandatory, the price will come down. It's like this guy has never ordered food in a hotel. When you have no choice, does the price of an omelet go up or down? 90% of the problems with health insurance could have been solved by just eliminating government regulation of health insurance. In its infinite wisdom, the government made it illegal to sell health insurance across state lines. So the government can't keep a Mexican out of Laredo, but it can keep an Indiana State Farm agent out of Ohio.
That's a good one.
So as usual, the Democrats' solution to problems created by government intervention is more government intervention. It's like trying to sober up by having another drink. Except at least trying to sober up by drinking more is fun. So now our entire healthcare system is going to be run by the same people who run the DMV.
Yeah. Great.
On immigration, the president's plan is basically find any states enforcing the immigration laws and sue them until they stop.
Yes.
But to give credit where credit is due, this is an entirely new approach to fixing immigration. Instead of sealing the border, the federal government is now warning Americans not to go into certain portions of federal parks because they become illegal alien and drug lord territory. That's true.
That's true.
I know.
They could at least put up a sign on the Mexican side of the border saying, 2-drink minimum. On foreign policy, Obama has effected change by making the French look más macho than the United States. Throughout the campaign, Obama delighted his liberal base by saying that Iraq was a war of choice, unlike the good war, Afghanistan, that was a war of necessity. And I ask you, was Michelle's recent vacation to Spain a trip of necessity or a trip of choice? Neither Iraq nor Afghanistan nor any country attacked us on 9/11. Both Afghanistan and Iraq were sheltering the associates of those who did attack us and would like to attack us again. So either both wars were wars of necessity or both wars were wars of choice. The truth is all wars are wars of choice, including, off the top of my head, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, both World Wars, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, the Afghanistan War, and the war on Iraq. Although, to be fair, perhaps the war on teenage obesity is a war of necessity, but that is the only one I can think of. The modern Democratic Party chooses to fight no wars. They've been fighting for the right not to fight for as long as I can remember. But liberals couldn't say they were against the war in Afghanistan immediately after the attack of 9/11, so they pretended to support that war, and then spent the next 7 years trying to come up with a difference between Iraq and Afghanistan. Maybe for their next trick, Democrats could tell us why attacking Hitler was a war of necessity. Hitler had not attacked the United States, had no plans to attack the United States. Obama said we needed to go to war with Hitler because, I quote, Nazi ideology sought to subjugate, humiliate, and exterminate. It perpetrated murder on a massive scale. What, and they think Saddam Hussein was just moody? Seriously, what does Obama think Saddam Hussein was doing? Hosting a reality show, pitting the Kurds against the Shiites and the Shia? So for purely politically correct reasons, Obama has now pulled troops out of Iraq, basically ignored Iraq, allowing that country to move closer and closer to chaos, while pouring more troops into Afghanistan, a country that's a lot trickier for the American military. Bush had won in Afghanistan and moved on. No, now we're starting that one all over again. To use the old liberal chestnut on Iraq, what would success in Afghanistan look like, liberals? They have an illiteracy rate of 70%. They have 3 working flush toilets. No offense, but before we start talking about democracy in Afghanistan, could we airdrop shampoo and razors across the country? So now suddenly, Afghanistan, a war we had won, has become an unwinnable war. You'll notice America only seems to fight unwinnable wars when a Democrat is commander-in-chief. Though, interestingly, since national security has become Obama's problem, he's changed his mind about Guantanamo. I think he wants to keep Guantanamo open in case Nancy Pelosi needs to be waterboarded. You remember Guantanamo, the all-inclusive tropical resort George Bush built for the terrorists so that they'd have a nice place to live until a Democrat president came in and either released them or gave them civilian trials. Terrorists being held in Guantanamo can't be put in cold rooms, can't be woken for interrogations, they can't have their mail opened, though who would have the balls to open that mail is beyond me. The detainees are entitled to 8 hours of sleep a night, 3 square meals a day, 2 hours of outdoor recreation. I've been treated worse at a Holiday Inn Express. Can we at least bang on the door at 6 a.m. and call out room service? Because I know that always makes me crack. The average Gitmo detainee has gained 20 pounds in captivity. At this rate, Michelle Obama is going to have to take her Let's Move campaign to Gitmo. In other words, ruthless terrorists who would slit your throat if given half a chance are treated better than you will be if you have to fly a commercial airline to Kansas to visit Grandma. Back away from the bottled water. You with the oversized bag, put your hands where I can see them. They don't even feed us on planes anymore. You want a good meal, you have to go to Gitmo. For 7 long years, the Democrat nut base, also known as the House of Representatives, has been able to huff and puff about Guantanamo without consequence. But now that it's Obama's problem, he's keeping it open. So it's official, only drama queens on college campuses were worried about waterboarding. I don't know if you remember, but when they were hysterical about the waterboarding, because of the ratings, or just about every male host on Fox News was waterboarded on TV. Torture. Violation of the Geneva Convention. Obama's main foreign policy innovation has been to apologize to the Muslim world on behalf of America. In fact, Obama recently broke Tiger Woods' record of most times saying I'm sorry by a mixed-race male. Apologized to Iran for President Eisenhower taking out Mohammad Mossadegh before Mossadegh turned Iran into a third world hellhole, like the Ayatollahs have done. He apologized to the entire Muslim world for the French and the English colonizing them, i.e. building flush toilets. Then there was Obama's famous 90-degree bowing tour of the Middle East and the Far East. For his next visit with King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, Obama's going to roll on his back and have his belly scratched like Fido. President Obama has ordered the mastermind of the 9/11 attack to be tried in a courthouse in New York, the same courthouse where Martha Stewart was tried. That's our get tough policy. And then a month ago at the White House Ramadan celebration, let that roll around your tongue. The White House Ramadan celebration, Obama came out for the mosque at Ground Zero. Does any adult with even minimal brain activity not see this as the giant screw you to America that it is?
Okay, yeah, thanks.
How about if they built the mosque in the size of a giant uplifted middle index finger? Would that help? Hey, when are you guys going to open your new mosque? I don't know, September 11th. Anything going on that day? Capacity of building, 9/11. As Joe McCarthy said, if liberals were merely stupid, the laws of probability would dictate that some of their decisions would serve the interests of the United States. Finally, the economy was supposed to be Obama's top priority, but it's only gotten worse since he's become president. Since Obama's been president, the day we had the lowest unemployment was the day he became president.